A couple of days ago I finished reading Thoma Mann's Death in Venice. This particular story I knew when I was younger. I think when I was maybe 20s, because there was a movie, Luchino Visconti's movie, very famous movies, came out, and I may have seen it at the time, but I don't recall that much. And also because of the subject matter, I didn't feel like I like to read the book, because something to do with this older man, kind of romanticizing this 14-year-old boy, which I don't necessarily, I didn't necessarily care for. So because of that, I didn't read Thoma Mann at all, but I became like a big world literature fan when I was like 50 years old or close to 60 years old. I started to read those books. So of course Thoma Mann comes up at the top of the list, and I decided to read the Magic Mountain, and I liked it, but it was a very thick book, and I kind of maybe like 1/10 of the way I kind of stopped reading, not because I didn't enjoy it, but it's too long or something. But Death in Venice, probably it's a kind of a short fiction, therefore maybe it's easier to read. So I started to read, and I was so glad that I started to read that, because when I started to read, immediately I felt, wow, this particular book, it's so enjoyable and so intense and so beautiful. And I felt, wow, I felt like, wow, Thoma Mann is, it's a very, very, I don't know, artistic, probably that's what it is. And of course this particular story, it's about this writer who kind of felt a little bit, I think, tired of living, tired of working as a writer, and decided to go to Venice, Italy, because that is a very, very popular place at the time. Is maybe turn of the century, 1900, around that time. And so he decided to visit there. Then he kind of came to this the Adriatic Sea, and saw this Venice from the sea, not from the land. I think he's from this particular guy named Aschenbach. He is, I think, a German person, and so of course he can use a train to come to the Venice from the land, but he decided, maybe it's a good idea to go from the sea, looking at the Venice. And so the Lido is like an island, a little bit away from Venice, and that's the best place to go for him. And so he decided to go there. And when he came, admiring all those beautiful historical building of Venice, beautiful artistic scenery of Venice. He was so glad to see those. But after a while, you know, he also realized that you know, thing is not perfect. I mean, people are very nice, but at the same time, very, you know, commercialized, business-like people in Venice, and Venice itself is kind of a decayed, ruined, and dirty. So he was disappointed, you know, in staying there, and so he realized he should leave. So while he was spending in Venice, he meet this boy who from far distance he see this boy, and he found him to be like ideal of beauty, whatever the boy, because he's just 14 years old. I think it turns out this boy was also vacationing in the same hotel where Aschenbach stayed, and I think they are from Poland, and so he's actually the Polish boy there. But Aschenbach immediately like fell in love with him, because he was so beautiful in a sense of that classical Greek statues or something like that. And you understand that as an artist, if you really look for the beauty of art, of course you look for the beauty of the human being and whatever. So that's what I understand, that he kind of you know, fall in love with him, but he never you know, spoke to him, or never, you know, get close to him or anything, just because he was very far away, and he was very afraid of getting close to him, because, you know, he's also he knew it's not a good idea to be in love with a boy like that as an older man. And so he kind of keep distance from this boy. And so you know, he kind of struggle. In one hand, he wants to talk to him, or he wants to make friends with him, or he wants to make acquaintance with him, but at the same time he has a tremendous restrictions on him that he can't do it, and almost his passion and his wish is overwhelming. Sometimes, you know, when you read this particular passage, almost like, wow, he's gonna talk to him, or he's gonna make friends with him, or whatever, but that never happened. And so he has been, you know, observing him, admiring him all the time, and you know, idolizing him, I think I would say. But when he was staying, he noticed that people on the beach, for example, are getting less and less tourists. You don't see as many tourists as you used to see, and he wondered why, you know, what it is. And so he started to ask what happened, but most people, oh, you know, it's like a, this city cleaning up going on there and so forth, and he couldn't get the grasp of what it is. But it turns out there's a cholera outbreak in the city of Venice around that time, and so Aschenbach realized that wow, he himself has to get away from the Venice, but he can't as long as this boy is still staying there in the same hotel. He realized he would stay. Yeah, so yeah, one time before then, I think he was kind of fed up with the dirty city of Venice and you know, very business-like people, you know, alluring the tourist. He didn't like that, so therefore one time he realized he wanted to go away from Venice. So he packed all the belongings and tried to send that to somewhere, but mistakenly that particular suitcase and everything was sent mistakenly to Lake Como area of Italy. So wow, you know, I cannot do without my suitcase or without my belongings to live here, so I had to stay. So he stayed there, but then behind the reason is that he wanted to stay as long as this boy was staying there. And then this cholera things happened, and so he tried to get away from the city, and also he would like to warn this particular family. I think this mother and I think 3 daughters and 1 boy, this Polish matriarchy family, as long as they're staying. And also he already felt this Polish mother of the boy maybe started to notice. That's what he felt, that yeah, that's what's happening. Maybe mother started to notice that the Aschenbach was stalking this boy and so forth. But it's all conjecture from Aschenbach's point of view. But anyway, he decided to warn mother that yeah, it's a cholera outbreak here in Venice, so you have to leave the city. I think he was able to convey that particular thing to this boy's mother, and that was like a very tense moment, because on one hand he wanted to make acquaintance with the boy, but at the same time he was afraid that mother get very annoyed by him, and so but anyway, the story becomes from then on very drastic, because I think the Aschenbach himself got cholera epidemic himself, and he, at the end of the story, he just collapsed on the chair, looking at the boy far away from the you know, to the beach. I think a boy was walking, and he was looking at him, but by that, looking at him, he was collapsed and they died. So that's the end of this particular short fiction. So I really enjoyed this particular writing and story, how it developed. I think for one hand, you feel like this guy, older guy, is like a pedophile, or shouldn't be doing whatever he's doing, morally wrong. Lots of criticism toward him. However, when I was reading, I didn't have any criticism toward him. I wish he could have more relaxed attitude toward life, and more, I don't know, I think society is not that, strict with him or whatever, but society is society. The atmosphere at that time, probably he would be much more restricted than, and he was there already, because he was almost like a, stalking him from far distance, though. And yeah, but still enjoying just watching him every day at the beach, what he was doing, and playing with other kids. But he never ever approached him or talked to him or anything in the entire fiction. He was distant, observing him, but observing itself also very discreet, that he would not overtly looking at him or anything, but he feels that this boy also may realize that this older guy was near him all the time, and maybe he got to notice. But that's all Aschenbach's conjecture there, and so you don't know, the boys got to know this man around. So in that aspect, he didn't do any criminal conduct or any bad behaviors there. Very in his own psychological turmoils are there, but nothing outwardly, anything bad happened. And during the whole course of thing, there is this admiration of the beauty, the classical art, the Greek art, or whatever, the Venice itself, artistic structures, artistic building, and the beautiful scenery, and mesmerizingly beautiful city, the Venice. Venice is very unique, because Venice is built on top of the I think the lagoon, whatever, in the sea, and so everywhere is water, and that's why the gondola is a main transportation device there. And when you go there, I've been there just once, in just one day I went there, and I walked around the Venice, but very dirty, and you look and you feel like, wow, this dilapidated structure, dilapidated building, wow, and the water is kind of murky, dirty, very bad. And so when you are there looking and observing all these things, you know, you don't feel like Venice is like a good place to visit. But after leaving Venice, for example, only thing I can think of was Venice. The book itself was, I think, beautifully written, and it's all about the beauty of Venice. Even though Aschenbach himself get disappointed sometimes with a noisy atmosphere or dirty environments or whatever of the city, but still he is in love with the city and he admired the city and that particular feeling. I really understand that, and I think it's everything is about that. It's artistic city and historical building, beautiful scenery. Why, you know, the reason why the Venice is popular destination for the tourists even today is that. I think if you fall in love with Venice, I think you really enjoy this particular book. I would say this is like a, you know, succumbing to the beauty of Venice.